Welcome to the DFS NBA live stream here on fantasyalarm.com. I'm Justin Fensterman along with Adam Ronis. Ronis, how'd they let us on during the day? How does that happen?
I don't know, but this could be the last time after I get through with this.
Yeah, so this is a crazy 4-game slate. Let me tell you, Ronis, we'll spend the next 75 minutes breaking down this slate.
Yeah, okay. You'll be by yourself. I'm not here.
You got a lot to say, Ronis, okay?
Lineup blocks at 7. It's 6:07. Relax.
Listen, I'm just excited to talk hoops with you, as I am every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Alarm After Hours on Sirius 210 XM87 Fantasy Sports Radio. Not tonight. I'm with Jen Piacenti. Upgrade, we call that. Ronis, let's get started.
Yeah, let's see how much NBA you talk tonight.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. That's why I got to get my fix with you right now. Okay, stop distracting me. Let's get started with your playbook. 4-game slate. Heavy hitters on the injured list right now, Ronis. So this is not going to be easy, especially with who to spend up on. There's not as many options with just a 4-game slate. So we'll go over it position by position. Let's start with the point guard spot. And the first name I see on your playbook, Chris Paul. Obvious reasons going up against Sacramento, who's dealing with their own injury issues. De'Aaron Fox, who I originally had in the starting 5 video, now may not play. He is questionable, but regardless if he's in or out, Chris Paul, he's been getting his own in the offense in OKC.
Yeah, I think he's not going to be highly owned tonight, and I don't think you have to play him. I think the key tonight is in tournaments is to be different. And there might be some guys that are not in the playbook that you might have to look to because we know what the popular plays are going to be tonight. And there's actually a lot of value on this slate, especially with the 76ers, with Joel Embiid ruled out. Ben Simmons is still out. There's a ton of value on the 76ers. Their prices are obviously not adjusted since the game was last night. We didn't know if Embiid is going to be out. And they're playing the Knicks at home. We know Philadelphia is horrendous on the road, but they're 27-2 at home. So I expect them to bounce back tonight. So, I think you're going to see a lot of guys with high ownership, and you're going to have to find the under-the-radar guys. Like I didn't put Elfrid Payton here. That's a contrarian play because he's kind of expensive, and he didn't play well yesterday. But I don't really trust the Knicks with some of their minutes right now. We know that they're not trying to win, but Payton is going to be a guy that's very low owned if you want to go that route in a tournament. I wouldn't do it in cash at all.
No. I'll say this, though, Ronis. One positive thing about the Knicks, and this is about all that is with outside of Julius Randle, is that they are playing better against guards. And I have to give Elfrid Payton and also the growth of R.J. Barrett when he's been in as well. So with that, I'm thinking that they could be in line for a lot of minutes in this game. I mean, even though Embiid's not playing, this is a game that they're going to want to win. And when thinking about who else you can trust for DFS when it comes to the Knicks, doesn't matter the size of the slate. Very hard besides Randall. Elfrid Payton has been on my mind, but I can't really rely on him for scoring. I need him to be grabbing long boards.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play enough minutes yesterday. I don't know why, but in tournaments, he'll be contrarian, and you need to find a different build tonight in tournaments because we kind of know who all the popular players are. A ton of value on the Lakers, ton of value on Philly, and everyone's going to play Anthony Davis. So you got to find a way to be different if you're playing in big field tournaments.
LeBron James is out. Joel Embiid is out. Ben Simmons is out. Damian Lillard is out. Fox right now questionable. Heavy hitters that are out for the short slate. Let's talk about Malcolm Brogdon, Ronis, because I agree with you that you put him in there. Forget any reason why from the matchup standpoint. Just the price alone on FanDuel is just too easy. 5,900. I love that. I was debating between him and Fox for the starting 5 video. But here's the thing with Malcolm Brogdon. I'm really wondering, with Jeremy Lamb now off the court, if that's going to space things out enough for Brogdon to get enough shots with Victor Oladipo in the lineup with him. Remember, they still have guys like T.J. Warren. They've got Turner, who's active on the offense. Same with Sabonis, very active. Have a lot of guys. So what are your expectations for Brogdon tonight and moving forward in terms of the piece of the offensive pie?
Yeah, I mean, the price on FanDuel is appealing. You don't even have to play them. There's some cheaper point guards that are going to be popular tonight. But I think, he can 5-6x that price. It's a good matchup against Portland. They struggle against point guards. They had a really good game last time out in a blowout. We only saw him play 24 minutes because it was an easy win against the Hornets. And I know Indiana's favored by 10. But I think Portland's going to give them a game and keep it close under, or so I hope, since I have some money on it.
You willing to bet on it, Ronis?
Yeah, yeah. I put my money where my mouth is. You know that.
You do. Go check out Adam Ronis's bets of the day, wageralarm.com. He's 2-0 last night. He's on fire right now. We all want to win some money. DFS wagering, this is what we do on fantasyalarm.com. You mentioned value when it came to the Sixers, and you and I had spent a lot of time talking about which Sixers would benefit with Ben Simmons out alone. Now Joel Embiid, both of their top options out. Shake Milton has come through and has helped out not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side, and it's given him more minutes. And this value price, just amazing GPP value tonight for him.
Yeah, I think you go play him in cash for sure. But I do. That's the one thing that's interesting about this slate. I think there's a lot of different ways to go. As I was putting together the example lineups, it's actually a pretty good slate, I think, for a 4-gamer. You can go in so many different directions. But I think on FanDuel, he's a solid cash game play. He could easily disappoint, which is why in GPPs, if you want to fade him, it makes sense. But he's played well the last couple games. He played 37 minutes last night. He took 14 shots from the field. And, so much usage opens up without Simmons and Embiid on the floor. And he had a good game last night. He had 33.8 FanDuel points. You'd absolutely love that tonight. And he could get there against the Knicks.
It's Harris, it's Richardson, and then it's the hot hand. That's the food chain when it comes to the scoring in Philly for this game against this sad Knicks team.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot, there's a lot of different ways to go in Philly tonight.
Yep. Now the final point guard you have here is one of my least favorite players in the NBA, but that doesn't change the fact that he puts up stats in multiple categories when given the time. And that's Rajon Rondo going up against the Warriors with LeBron James out. Now all of a sudden he becomes very, very appealing, and especially at price point 3,500 on DraftKings. Ronis, I don't like the guy, but I love the opportunity.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do much at all to crush value here. We've seen it in limited opportunities this year when he's gotten the opportunity to play, anywhere from the mid-20s to maybe high 20 minutes. He gets it done. And the Warriors are bad against point guards, 29th in defensive efficiency. Even if Rondo doesn't start, he's going to be a facilitator and a playmaker on the floor because that's what LeBron's been doing, and he's out. So, look, a couple recent games, he played 22 minutes against the Celtics. He had 27.7 FanDuel points. He played 26 minutes on February 10th against the Suns, had 38.8 FanDuel points. So give us minutes in the mid-20s in this matchup against Golden State, and he's really going to come through for us.
Let's move on to shooting guards, because someone that we have to consider. And, sometimes, Ronis, I ask you how much is too much to spend on some of these guys that are injury replacements when it comes to top options, second options becoming top options. CJ McCollum, he's the number one option with Damian Lillard out of the lineup going up against Indiana. You and I have talked at length about Indiana and their struggles that we've seen over the last month or so. So do you think McCollum, no matter who's on him, Jeremy Lamb being out is perfect, by the way, for this situation for him. But still, do you think that he'll be able to take advantage of whoever is on him tonight?
I mean, we've seen it so far with Lillard out, so just continue to go there. And there's enough value on this slate that you can play him. I wasn't sure at first, but looking at some of the example lineups, he's pretty much locked in all of them. He's got a 34.5% usage rate over the last 4 games. He's averaging 25 shots from the field, a 1.45 fantasy points per minute. I mean, he's doing everything. At least 44-point FanDuel points in 3 straight games and 3 consecutive games at least 10 assists. So he's doing everything. He's shooting, he's distributing, and for this team to have a shot to stay in this game and keep it close, McCollum has got to produce. So, I think, the last couple of games, people have been like, oh, the price is too high. He's getting it done. So I think on tonight's slate, there's enough value that you can play him.
Let's talk about some of the other options on the Thunder, because the reason why the Thunder have really succeeded, besides the recent great play of Steven Adams, is their 3-headed monster in the backcourt. We've talked about this. You have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the playbook. I have Dennis Schroeder in the starting 5 video. So both, I think, are in great positions, including Schroeder coming off the bench, going up against the second unit. I don't care if Buddy Hield is there or not. He's going to get the shots. So my only question to you, Ronis, is Gilgeous-Alexander at 72, 74, when you're at, I believe, 58 for Schroeder. Do you just spend down and go with Schroeder there?
It depends. I mean, I did put Gilgeous-Alexander in my GPP lineup for DK. I don't think he's going to be highly owned. He's got 2 straight double-doubles. So, at least 40.6 FanDuel points in 2 straight games. They're home. Yeah, you can go with Schroeder for sure. I mean, he's cheaper, but I think Gilgeous-Alexander gives you a little bit of a different build tonight if you're playing in multiple lineups in tournaments. Because I just don't see the ownership being that high. I think people will play McCollum, and then they're going to go down for value at shooting guard position. So I think Gilgeous-Alexander could get lost in the shuffle tonight. And again, if you're playing in a big tournament, you got to find a way to be different. And he gives you that build to be different.
Yeah, somebody else that definitely gives you the ability to be different even on this slate, Damian Lee. People don't realize that when it comes to the Golden State Warriors at this point, they're also lacking a lot of options. I know Draymond Green is going to play in this game, but that still doesn't really matter for the offense for the most part. He gives you those stats in other categories, rebounds, assists, even steals. You don't really rely on him as much for the scoring, but Damian Lee is on that shot chart. So there you go. You want to be different tonight, Ronis. Lee could be that guy against the Lakers.
Yeah, I really don't like him as much anymore. Just looking at the slate and the value at the position, I mean, it's just there's not a high ceiling there. And in cash games, I don't think you need to use him. I mean, he can get you, 30 FanDuel points, which is solid at that price. But just the way things have gone, I don't think I would use him.
What about Josh Richardson versus Furkan Korkmaz, both that you have in the playbook?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both solid. I mean, I prefer Richardson a little bit. He's going to be asked to do a lot more. He'll have the ball in his hands more. And, even last night, not a lot of points, but 9 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks for 33 DK points. And we're getting him at, on both sides, cheap, 52, 5,300 against the Knicks. He should 6-7x that. So I think he'll be a popular play. And Korkmaz, played at least 24 minutes in 3 straight games, at least 20.2 FanDuel points in each. So there's more opportunity for him if his shot is on, and he's cheap. So I think he kind of fits the build, especially on DraftKings.
Let's move on to small forward and stick with the Philadelphia 76ers. Tobias Harris. No, he didn't have a great game last time out. It's been a couple of not so great games compared to the value of what you're spending. Tonight, and I said this in the starting 5 video, huge bounce back potential in this game. But Ronis, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here for 30 seconds. He has to slash to the basket tonight. The perimeter is not where you get the Knicks. Getting to the basket is how you get to the Knicks. Don't worry about Randall. Don't worry about whoever's there. Taj Gibson, do not worry about whoever is there. Tobias Harris, without Joel Embiid, without Ben Simmons, someone's got to slash to this basket, and I'm thinking Tobias Harris is going to be in full slash mode tonight. I could see him going 0 for 2, 0 for 3 from downtown and saying, forget this, slash to the basket.
He's going to be very popular on FanDuel because you have to start 2 small forwards. I don't know about as much on DraftKings. I don't think you have to go there on DK at 7,500. I think there's other ways to go. I think it's hard to get away from him on FanDuel at that price and looking at the position. So, I mean, he's in line for a big game tonight. We know the Sixers play way better at home. He's going to be more of a central piece of the offense, and he's got at least 38.9 FanDuel points in 3 of the last 5 games. And without Embiid, man, he's got to get it done.
Right. Other small forward options that you can go with on the Ronis playbook here on fantasyalarm.com. Danilo Gallinari, you have a TJ Warren as well. The big question for me, Ronis, is who is Trevor Ariza going to be on, in your opinion? Because that's normally a matchup I don't like to attack, but you think that he's going to be on Oladipo more?
By the way, breaking news, De'Aaron Fox has been ruled out.
Wow. Okay. So there you go. It's going to be a lot of Brogdon tonight then, Ronis, when it comes to middle-priced options.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, that just opens up some more value there on the Sacramento side.
Wow. So there you go. This is what we're doing, getting you ready for the 4-game slate. Let's continue talking about small forward options. And someone that's not in the playbook that now I have to ask you about, Ronis. What about Bogdan Bogdanović? He's going to get some time to run the point a little bit tonight.
Yeah, certainly. You can look at him now. So that's another guy you can go to. I already had Kent Bazemore in there at small forward. He's played 30 minutes in consecutive games. He's got at least 24.6 FanDuel points in 4 straight. In the last 3 games, he's averaging 18.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 3-pointers. So Bazemore, someone that you could look at as well. Gallinari, safe for cash, high floor. Probably don't need to go there now with some of the value that's opened up.
You can also go with, that opens it up for everybody, all those mid-court options.
Barnes has played well lately, too.
He has.
And he's cheap.
I need Barnes. I want him to get a little bit more when it comes to the rebounding. He has that ability, but sometimes you're just seeing the points. But with Fox out now, there are some options. I agree with you. I don't think we really need to go Gallinari with some of those other mid-court options open for Sacramento. Now, TJ Warren, like I asked you before the news fired, who do you think Ariz is going to be on more between Depot and Warren?
Probably Depot. But, I think Warren's fine, man. He's played well. Missed a couple games with injury. The last 2 games, he's been under 30 minutes due to blowout. But before that, he had a stretch where he had at least 29 FanDuel points in each game. So I think Warren is fine in cash on FanDuel where you got to play the 2 small forwards.
Okay, let's move on to power forward here because we got a guy that you may want to start. I don't know, Ronis, you might be fading this guy. His name is Anthony Davis. All fade tonight, right?
Just clearly he's the most popular play, and sometimes you don't overthink things. We talk about being different on a 4-game slate, but you still need raw points, and he's the guy that's going to get you there. Of course, there's always the risk of him getting injured and going to the locker room, but I just think you don't overthink it here. Unless you're playing 50 lineups, maybe you take him out of 1 or 2 just to be different. But, the last time he faced the Warriors, he had 27 points, 10 boards, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. He's been crushing it over the last 9 games, and with no LeBron James, it's about 35% usage rate that opens up. It's going to be a lot of Anthony Davis, so, he should have a monster game tonight, so just play him.
Domantas Sabonis, you have an Al Horford too. That's a big drop-off in price. So with Sabonis, let me ask you this, Ronis. With Sabonis, would you rather spend up a little bit more for Sabonis or go with a guy like Julius Randle, who has essentially produced 2 double-doubles in 3 games versus the Sixers this year?
I trust Sabonis more. I think both guys are going to be contrarian tonight because I think people are going to play Anthony Davis, and then they're going to go down at the power forward spot with either Al Horford or Kyle Kuzma. So I think if you want to really be different tonight, play Davis and Sabonis together. I don't think that, unless I could be wrong, but I don't think that's going to be a popular combo. So in tournaments, I would not do it in cash. You don't need to do it in cash. Play Davis and Al Horford. Al Horford's 4,800 on FanDuel. So we know he hasn't been great lately, but it's back-to-back games of playing 30 minutes. It's against the Knicks. Last night he had 10 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, and 3 steals. The minutes are going to be there. So he's a good price on both sides. He'll be popular. Kuzma, I would think, he could go to the starting lineup. If not, I think he gets close to 30 minutes. And we've seen it many times this year when he's gotten that opportunity to play. I know he's sucked lately and he's not playing big minutes. But the last time he played 30 minutes, he had 36.4 FanDuel points. And he's going up against the Warriors. So, he's going to be very popular. 3,900 on DraftKings. He's got the power forward center eligibility. So there's some good options here at power forward, and kind of figuring out who to pair with Anthony Davis is going to be key in tournaments. That getting that combo right is going to be important tonight.
You mentioned Harry Giles, and he's starting to stand out at the pack in Sacramento while Rashawn Holmes recovers. Same with Marvin Bagley III. So Giles has been able to step up a bit, and that FanDuel price is just amazing. I just wanted to note that, Ronis. You had him in the playbook, 4,500 on FanDuel. Again, way to be different. Let's move on, though, to center our final position with who we are spending on. And I'm so happy. You have Whiteside in the playbook for obvious reasons, but Steven Adams, I'm starting to not worry about the price point, but it's starting to get up there a little bit, almost at $7K. But I just think because of what we just talked about with Sacramento, not having other options, Steven Adams has been on fire lately, man.
Yeah, last 3 games, he's averaging 18.7 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 2.7 steals. I think he's finally healthy. There was a period this year where he was playing like in the mid-20s. We were seeing a lot of Nerlens Noel behind him, but the minutes have been up. He's got at least 35 DK points in 5 straight games. Just missed a double-double for the 5th consecutive game by 1 rebound last time out. Maybe I I don't know. Maybe the ownership. I mean, it's a 4-game slate, but I think a lot of people are going to pay up for Whiteside, and I think there's a couple centers that people are going to pay down for.
So some of those centers, meaning you have Marquise Chris in the playbook as well. That's how you know that you have a really short slate. But still with Marquise Chris, what are your expectations if you're choosing between him and a Miles Turner, $100 difference, $6,100 for Chris, $6,000 for Turner? Who would you rather go with?
I'd rather play. Well, I like Turner better on DraftKings, where he's 5,200. Again, this is not someone I put in the playbook a lot, although I did in the last one 2 days ago. That was against the Hornets, and what do you have? 7-8 blocks, 8 blocks in that last game. He's inconsistent, but he doesn't need to do much at that price. It's against Portland, and he's got at least 35 DK points in 3 of his last 6 games. So, a lot of people are going to pay up for Whiteside. I think Turner's an interesting play that, especially on DraftKings. And Mitchell Robinson. I mean, this is the epitome of a tournament winning upside play. Now, he's played 29 and 25 minutes the last 2 games. There's no Joel Embiid tonight. He just needs the minutes to produce. He had at least 42.6 FanDuel points in 3 of the last 5 games. And we know he has a big ceiling, 12 blocks over the last 3 games. So I think Robinson's in a good spot tonight. We just need him to get the minutes. But, that's what you want to do in a tournament. I think you can go like Robinson Turner on DK, and that allows you to get Davis, McCollum, and pretty much anywhere you want. Or you can go Whiteside and Robinson in a tournament on DK. So a lot of ways to go tonight.
A lot of ways to go, but not that many games, Ronis. But this is why we play the game. 4-game slate, but still a lot of directions you can, especially with De'Aaron Fox now out. Those mid-court options for Sacramento, nice value that you'll get at Adam Ronis at Fensty Sports. And you have been watching the DFS NBA live stream. Ronis, don't embarrass us down in Florida for labor, okay? We're all counting on you here. Don't make me come after you when you're eventually back on Alarm After Hours, man. But safe travels to you, sir.
Thanks. And unfortunately, we won't know the results till October.
Very, very true. Justin Fensterman and Adam Ronis, the DFS NBA live stream, fantasyalarm.com. Good luck and always dominate. Why? There is no other option.